Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the portfolio. Welcome back to the channel. Great to see everyone back on the YouTube series. Want to say special thanks to all the viewers and all the subscribers. Immensely appreciate the support on the portfolio. For today's video, I'd like to do an all portfolio review. It's been about 1 month since I did my last review when the portfolio was hanging around $740,000. As you can see here this morning, the portfolio is going hyperbolic, up over $846,000, and a lot of that has to do with that stock on the bottom of the screen there under price movement. Ford Motor Company has been performing very strongly. That is the largest holding in the portfolio. Today, another 3.65% in the green. So we'll definitely talk about that as we go through the portfolio. And over the past 1 week of trading here, you can see 70,281, and over the past 1 month, 76,702. So let's scroll down here. I do have a few options contracts that will be pending for this Friday. Tesla put contracts. These have been performing very well over the past several months. You can see I sold off 4 contracts here on the bottom of the screen. And here we can see all of those payments that were received on the portfolio last week. I did have 3 contracts here for $3,000 and then an additional contract here for $980. And I'll probably use the rest of the capital in the portfolio to sell off additional put contracts this week. Let's go down to the stock holdings. Again, I have all of these stocks in the portfolio arranged per market segment. If you guys have taken a look at my prior videos, you'll kind of see how I go through that format. But essentially up on top, I have ETFs, exchange traded funds, followed by healthcare stocks, followed by industrials. And as we go through each market segment, I'll make sure to alert you guys when we are changing segments. So let's go ahead and dive into the portfolio here. The first one up on screen, again, are ETFs, DVY, 1 share, 120.39. And you also see that a lot of these stocks only have 1 or 2 shares. That is because these are holdovers from the original Robinhood portfolio that I established back in 2016. I decided to keep those in the portfolio, but there are only a few shares with those stocks. And as you'll see as we go through the portfolio, the majority of the capital market value is in a few select stocks, and then I also use quite a bit of capital for options contracts, selling off options, for example, those Tesla puts that I just discussed earlier. But again, let's go through the portfolio here. Again, DVY, 1 share, 120.34, SCHD, 1 share, 78.84, SPHD, 160 shares, 69.77. This used to be one of my favorite ETFs in the portfolio. It does have a monthly dividend. However, the expenses on this one, the expense ratio is very high, 0.3%. If you take a look at a superior fund like Vanguard, VOO, that has an expense ratio of 0.04%. So this definitely has fallen out of favor, and I will not be allocating any more capital to SPHD. I prefer to put that capital into VOO if I do buy exchange traded shares. STY here, the next ETF, 1 share, 126.12. VOO, again, this is that superior ETF that I prefer. 40 shares, 17,272.80. Another Vanguard fund here. Again, another ETF with a very low expense ratio, 0.03% for this one. 20 shares, $2,209.75. So let's go ahead and take a look at healthcare stocks now. First, starting with some pharmaceutical companies. AbbVie, ABBV, 31 shares, 36.10 for market value. Eli Lilly and Company, LLY, 5 shares, 13.23. Pfizer, PFE. You can see here elevated volatility in this stock today. Definitely has been moving quite substantially up and down over the past week of trading here. As you can see, that very large price swing, $43.50 up to $48. So a nice new feature here on Robinhood to kind of alert you guys to the volatility in stocks. 130 shares, 62.44 for market value. VTRS, this was an offshoot of Pfizer. 16 shares, 234.08, and you can see average cost there is 0. Again, I got awarded these shares simply for holding Pfizer in the portfolio. Abbott Laboratories here, moving over to healthcare services companies ABT, 60 shares, 75.54. Cardinal Health, CAH, 18 shares, 897.66. Johnson & Johnson, J&J, 6 shares, 978.39. Let's move over to industrials now with Boeing, BA. This is one of the larger holdings in the portfolio. As you can see there, my position, 1,200 shares, 268,338. Average cost 175.53. So I'm really hoping Boeing gets up above $3, maybe even $400 here over the next couple years of trading. You can see here, 5-year graph, it was trading there very nicely before the pandemic, at one point getting up to $440. So this will be a long-term buy and hold stock in the portfolio. Next one here is Airbus. It's a European competitor. 2 shares, $66.59. Lockheed Martin, LMT, 1 share, $340.50. And Southwest Airlines, LUV, 100 shares, $5,222. Now, next we'll move over to conglomerate companies. GE, General Electric, 28 shares, $3,072. 3M, MMM, 12 shares, $2,181. And Westinghouse, WAB, 1 share, $97.19. And you can see on the bottom there, this was another offshoot, I believe, from General Electric. Average cost is 0 for that particular stock because of that reason. Illinois Toolworks here, some machinery companies. ITW, 1 share, $234.27. Some railroad companies here. Canadian National Railroad, 1 share, $132.10. Union Pacific, UNP, 1 share, $239.23. Moving over to some supply companies here. International Paper, IP, 2 shares, $98.88. And some chemical companies, Corteva, 2 shares, $94.56. Again, you can see on the bottom, average cost is 0. This was an offshoot company from Dow. DuPont DD, 2 shares, $161.28. And Dow Chemical here, 2 shares, $117.86. So let's now move over to consumer discretionary here, automotive. As you can see up on screen here, Ford Motor Company, the largest holding in the portfolio, 15,000 shares, 700. On the bottom, you can see market value $318,967, average cost $762, and it's about 40% of the overall portfolio here. So this is the largest holding again in the portfolio, and you can see here very strong performance, up 5.5% today. Over the past 1 week of trading, 11.97%. 1 month of trading, 33%. 3 months, 48%, and 1 year up 150%. So this is definitely driving the portfolio currently. Some very strong guidance moving forward with Ford Motor Company. It reestablished its dividend as well. You can see market cap here, $81 billion. Just a few months ago, that was around $50 billion. So you can see the very strong performance. And again, one of the main reasons is the allocation of resources into its EV business. $30 billion allocated for electrifying its fleet, moving into electric vehicles, and it did establish its dividend, 10 cents per share, which I recently discussed on a video. So very strong performance with Ford Motor Company. Moving on in the portfolio, GM, General Motors, 1 share, $60.31. Garmin here, some consumer electronics companies, GRMN, 2 shares, $292.55. McDonald's moving into restaurants, MCD, 10 shares, $25.45. Yum Brands, YUM, 1 share, $126.94. It's China offshoot, YUMC, 1 share, $56.29. Couture Brands, KTB, 1 share, $58.10. BBWI, Bath & Body Works, 1 share, $75.09. VFC, VF Corp, 10 shares, $738.81. Moving over into textiles. ADM, agriculture stock, Archer Daniels Midland, 2 shares, $129.10. Foodstuffs, Cisco, SYY, 1 share, $80.75. Some household goods products companies, 2 shares for Kimberly-Clark, KMB, $263.15. Colgate CL, 8 shares, $618.96. Moving over to packaged goods, HSY Hershey, 2 shares, $347.23. Kraft Foods, KHC, 18 shares, $672.66. And Procter & Gamble, PG, 6 shares, $866.88. Now we'll move over to some beverage companies, BUD, Anheuser-Busch, 6 shares, $362.55. KDP, 25 shares, $896.38. Coca-Cola KO, 12 shares, $676.97. And PepsiCo PEP, 4 shares, $651.80. Moving over to Canopy Growth, CGC, 2,000 shares, $24,780. And you can see on the bottom of the screen here, one of the worst performing stocks in the portfolio, and unfortunately is 3% portfolio diversity, down 37,200 currently. So I'm definitely looking for that to rebound. If the US does legalize marijuana on a federal level, I do hope that stock does start spiking back up. You can see over the past 1 year, it was up around $52. Made a mistake there, definitely did not sell off appropriately. In 5 years, you can see the dramatic variability, volatility in the price of the stock from its IPO here back in 2018. Kind of an up and down pattern here. I do hope this does start spiking up again. And the other stock I'm doing a lot of options trading with, CRISPR CRSP 500 shares. Again, unfortunately, this is also trended down 27.74% in the negative, $18,000 in the red, and it makes up 5.86% of the overall portfolio. Market value, $46,929. Let's move over now to financial stocks. HBAN Huntington Bank, 4 shares, $63.40. Morgan Stanley MS, 10 shares, $1,011.10. Wells Fargo WFC, 1 share, $50.92. I do have some insurance companies. Old Republic, 70 shares, $1812.30 for market value. Moving over now to information technology. IBM, 3 shares, $373.17. Some semiconductor stocks. AMD, 3 shares, $421.82. Intel INTC, 13 shares, $670.74. Microsoft, 1 share, $334.91. And you can see here, this became the most valuable company in the world. Market cap on the bottom of the screen there, $2.51 trillion. Definitely wish I would have put more capital, allocated more capital to Microsoft. Moving on here to telecoms, telecommunications, AT&T, 750 shares, $18,786. BZ, Verizon, 3 shares, $156.41. ExxonMobil, moving into energy stocks, 11 shares, $727.14. Centerpoint Energy, 4 shares, $105.88. Consolidated Edison ED, 5 shares, $385.60. Southern SO, 3 shares, $188.43. Now moving over to real estate investment trusts or REITs. Apple Hospitality, APLE, 1,300 shares, $21,515. FRT, Federal Realty, 6 shares, $774.64. IRM, Iron Mountain, 200 shares, $9,536. O, Realty Income, 40 shares, $2,858. And STAG, Stag, 1 share, $42.39. I do have a few closed-end funds, or at least one closed-end funds remaining in the portfolio. Prospect Capital, PSEC, 400 shares, $3,450. And what is typical of these types of companies, business development companies, you can see the dividend yield, 8.623%. Very strong dividend yields on those companies. And the last stock here, miscellaneous penny stock, which now is over $75. You can see average cost there was so small it's not even registering, 0. If we take a look at the 5-year graph, you can really see that here. I think there were some reverse splits because I think I got into this company when it was around 5 or 6 cents. So you can see the very strong performance here. Again, back in February 2020, under $1, and it's currently up over $75. Today, up 18.24% alone. Let's go down to cryptocurrencies. I do have some Litecoin in the portfolio. This also looks like it's doing very well today, up to $221. Take a look at the bottom of the screen here. You can see my entry point was around $30 to $40. You can see 100 shares, or excuse me, 10 coins for $34.13 for each individual coin. So very strong performance with Litecoin. So that is the portfolio. Just wanted to quickly go through the portfolio. Again, let me know what you guys are doing with your portfolios. Are you doing more buy and hold stocks, strategies, maybe some dividend investing, or maybe you're doing what I have been doing of recent and doing a lot of options trading, selling off puts and selling off calls in the portfolio to make extra income on cash you have in the portfolio or stocks that are sitting in the portfolio as buy and hold positions. We can make it a little bit extra income by selling off calls and receiving that premium for those positions. But either way, let me know. Not to make the video too long, I'll kind of end it here. Again, if you guys enjoy the content on the video series here on the YouTube channel, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have a great idea for a video, please let me know. You guys have given some great video ideas already. definitely will try to get those out as soon as I can. And kind of with that, I'll end the video, and we'll see you guys next time.